a global platform now that Caitlin will have coming into the professional ranks. So it's really a great time to be in basketball.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
Build, you have to scale, and ultimately expansion had always been on my list. But we didn't want to rush into it because we wanted new owners, like new ownership groups. Anyone who knows sports here knows, like, it's a slog to be a sport.
Just 2 minutes ago, the WNBA dropped a nuclear-level offer to stop Caitlin Clark from leaving for Europe, and fans, players, even league legends like Sheryl Swoopes and Aya Wilson are stunned. Never before has a rookie been offered an ownership stake in their first year. But Clark's power has reshaped everything. Is this a bold step into the future, or the beginning of the league tearing itself apart?
Hi, Caitlin.
Hey, what's up, Caitlin?
Hey,
Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark wasn't just drafted, she revived the league. In just one season, the Indiana Fever's ticket sales surged by 400%. WNBA viewership broke every record and merchandise sales exploded. ESPN analysts credited her with financially saving the WNBA from a steep decline.
The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
But behind the applause, a dangerous storm was building. European basketball teams began circling, offering Caitlin Clark millions, guaranteed pay, global spotlight. Diana Taurasi once left for similar reasons. Breanna Stewart, too. The WNBA couldn't compete until now.
Actually looked up how much the tickets are going for. I kind of cut that price in half.
For the first time in WNBA history, the league has offered a rookie not just a roster spot, but part ownership in her team. A move once reserved for icons like Michael Jordan. This isn't just a contract. It's power.
Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history. Clarkonomics, my friend.
But the locker rooms aren't all celebrating. Sheryl Swoopes said it outright, this feels unfair. Aya Wilson, who's spent years building the WNBA's brand, remains silent. But sources close to her say she's furious. And Angel Reese? She unfollowed Clark minutes after the announcement.
Getting more and more people, and it's getting bigger, it's getting louder, and it's a very fun environment to be in.
This isn't just about one player. This is about the soul of the WNBA. Aya Wilson built her brand. Sue Bird sacrificed 20 years. Now, Clark gets equity and control in one season.
Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging.
This move ignites every rivalry in the league. Clark versus Reese. East versus West. College loyalty versus pro equality. And it's not just the players, their fan bases are going to war online.
Like, there's that 4-year period where you need to grow as a person, but then the NIL comes into play. Oh, we keep walking right back into that.
All eyes are now on Caitlin Clark. Does she take the offer and become the first player owner in WNBA history, or walk away to Europe, proving the league still can't retain its stars?
500,000, $1 million off your NIL? Are you staying?
Caitlin Clark holds the future of the WNBA in her hands. This isn't just a contract, it's a new model for how athletes and leagues coexist. But it comes with consequences, resentment, backlash, and a fragile locker room dynamic. The question now is simple. The WNBA just made a historic offer that stunned everyone, including its own players. Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball, was reportedly inches away from leaving for Europe. But in a desperate move to keep her, the league did the unthinkable. They offered her partial ownership. Yes, ownership. What does this mean for the WNBA, Angel Reese, and legends like Sheryl Swoopes? Let's break it all down.
NBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the...
Since day one, Caitlin Clark changed everything. From shattering college records to packing arenas in the pros, her impact was immediate. Indiana Fever ticket sales skyrocketed. TV ratings quadrupled. Even ESPN called her the savior of the WNBA.
Last day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially.
But behind the highlight reels was a darker reality. European clubs began circling, offering millions much more than the WNBA max salary, just like they did for Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart years before.
Nitpicking every single thing I do, and I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to.
That's when it happened. A move so bold, so unprecedented, it left the entire league stunned. The WNBA offered Caitlin Clark an ownership stake in the Indiana Fever. Not just a contract, not just a bonus, a literal piece of the team.
Not following after Caitlin Clark's been eliminated, and they're not into the league because they're conditioned by the league and the.
But not everyone's celebrating. Hall of Famer Cheryl Swoops called it unfair. Angel Reese reportedly unfollowed Clark again just minutes after the news. Are players upset Clark's getting special treatment?
Final WNBA playoff game, 2.5 million viewers.
Appreciate you. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl's.
Caitlin Clark's popularity created a divide. Veteran players feel overlooked. Young stars feel underpaid. And now, the gap between Clark and the rest of the league has never been wider.
Playing basketball right now is a miracle. Some of the fans that were unhappy with her one play, a defensive play, called for that same tumor for.
So why really give her ownership? Simple. The WNBA was desperate. Ratings drop when Clark sits. ESPN traffic drops. Arena seats go empty. She's not just a player, she's the product.
Try and stay ahead of that. Try and tamp it down or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem, but their fan bases are involved.
So now, Caitlin Clark stays, but at what cost? Will this spark locker room resentment? Will more players demand ownership? And how long before the next Caitlin Clark walks away?
It's not just one person. That's jealousy.
I agree with that. So
stop it with all the. Nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese just showed you on.
Caitlin Clark just made history again. Not with a three-pointer, not with a highlight reel, but by forcing a billion-dollar league to bend the rules. Whether she lifts the league or fractures it, one thing's for sure. The WNBA will never be the same again.
There are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league. I think continuing to uplift this league.
In what is being called the most historic and controversial move in the history of women's basketball, the WNBA has just made an unprecedented offer to Caitlin Clark just minutes ago, designed to keep her from leaving the United States and taking her talents overseas to Europe. This bombshell decision comes amid growing fears that the league's brightest and most profitable star might follow the path of legends like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart, who went abroad to chase multi-million-dollar contracts that the WNBA simply could not match. But what's jaw-dropping about this latest development is that the WNBA's offer to Clark isn't just about more salary, endorsements, or bonuses. It's an ownership stake in her team, the Indiana Fever. That's right. Caitlin Clark, a rookie, is reportedly being offered equity, ownership in the very franchise she plays for, a move that is completely unheard of not only in the WNBA, but across all professional sports when it comes to a player this early in her career. The decision has sent shockwaves across the entire league. Veteran players like Aya Wilson, Cheryl Swoops, and Angel Reese are either silently fuming or publicly questioning what this means for the integrity and fairness of the WNBA. Aya Wilson, a two-time MVP who has carried the league on her back for years, is rumored to be furious behind closed doors. Cheryl Swoops didn't hold back either, stating in an interview that this offer could undermine the blood, sweat, and sacrifice that players before Clark have put into growing the sport. Angel Reese, Clark's most public and heated rival, not only unfollowed Clark on social media moments after the offer was reported, but also threw shade in a cryptic tweet, suggesting the league is showing favoritism and clout chasing. And you can't blame them. For decades, WNBA players have fought for basic benefits, charter flights, decent salaries, and media coverage. Suddenly, a rookie arrives and is offered the keys to the franchise? For many, this doesn't feel like evolution, it feels like an insult. But it's not hard to see why the league is desperate to keep Clark. Since entering the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has completely transformed the financial and cultural trajectory of the league. Ticket sales for Indiana Fever games exploded by over 400%. TV ratings shattered previous records. Merchandise flew off the shelves. The WNBA has seen more growth in the past 6 months than it did in the last 6 years, much of it thanks to the Clark effect. With European clubs reportedly offering her $1.50 to $2 million per season, far more than what she can earn in the WNBA even with endorsements, the fear that she might leave was very real. And now, with the offer of ownership, the WNBA is not just fighting to retain her, they're signaling that she is bigger than the league itself. This offer means she would have a say in franchise decisions, a share in profits, and long-term financial security that could one day make her the first billionaire female basketball player in history. But with such power comes chaos. The locker rooms are reportedly split. Some players see Clark as the future. Others see this as an unfair fast track to influence and money that undermines the very essence of team sport. The resentment is growing. Behind every highlight reel and handshake is a silent war, a war of respect, equity, and legacy. The WNBA may have secured Caitlin Clark's loyalty for now, but the cost? It could be locker room harmony, veteran morale, and a league divided by favoritism and frustration. The WNBA has taken a gamble, offering one player the throne, even if it means shaking the entire foundation. The question now is not just whether Clark will accept it, but whether the league can survive the aftershock. Do you think this move was fair? Or has the WNBA created a dangerous precedent? The future of the league might just depend on that answer. Ask ChatGPT.